Hey everyone, I know you've been waiting for this audio part to come out from part one. If you didn't see part one, it was just how to set up YouTube Live and a few of the features that you'll probably want to do. So if you haven't seen that, you want to jump over to the other video just to make sure that you have everything set up correctly. If you're looking at this, you're just trying to get your audio set up correctly. And so I thought, hey, I, it's time to go. So let's do a 5-minute crash course. I'm going to go as fast as I can. Have pictures and I'll have links in the description, so that could save us a whole bunch of time. So here we go. Um, I wanted to give a few clarifications from yesterday because I didn't talk about Facebook Live, and so there were reasons. One, your audience doesn't have doesn't all necessarily have Facebook Live. You have to on Facebook Live, you have to log in, you have to sign in, you have to sign up, and so Facebook is restrictive, whereas YouTube allows people to join in without requiring a login. So that was one reason that I chose YouTube over Facebook Live. Facebook Live also has some pretty heavy restrictions. And so I've seen a lot of restrictions kind of come through and tackle churches and like pretty much stop them dead in their tracks. And so Facebook Live is a great opportunity if you can do that too, in addition to YouTube Live, do it. Um, but I think if you had to invest all of your time and energy in one of these platforms, I think YouTube is the best place to start because I can post a YouTube video into Facebook, but I can't post a Facebook video necessarily into YouTube without making a whole bunch of changes. So trying to stay simple and clear and bring clarity. And so that's why I would pick YouTube first. So those are some questions that were brought up, and that's why. So we're talking audio, and the reason we're talking audio is because people will put up with a cruddy looking video, but they won't put up with not being able to hear who you are and what you're doing and why you're there. So another clarification that happened just about an hour ago, I learned that Amazon is closing its operation. And so a lot of my research from last night and today and earlier this weekend, it may be changing because I'm going to include links in the description that are Amazon links because that's where I found it all. So you may have to find something similar at like Best Buy or another store closer to you. Sweetwater, Musician's Friend, those are options too. So while we're talking, there are going to be two kinds of audio that I'm going to be talking through. I mean, so some of you have recording that goes into your board, and you already record your mix, and so you get the sermon recorded on a computer every Sunday. And so some of you don't do that, and you're looking to do that. So that's one kind of sound clarification or audio that we'll be talking about. And then the other, some of you are shooting through cell phones or GoPros or some kind of handheld, and so you're using the internal mics, and so you're not getting really good audio. So you're like, how can we improve that audio quality? And so we'll start there with the handhelds and the audio, things like that, and we'll progressively move into a little bit more complicated. So the goal is to start as simple as we can, and then it's going to get complicated. And so yesterday we talked maybe the cheapest to the most expensive, and today we're kind of working through the simplest to the most complicated. So let's get into it. Nitty gritty. 5 minutes. Here we go. I'm just going to go for it. This is a Movo, and it's like a mini shotgun mic. It's really easy to rig with your camera. If you look at this bottom part, you kind of see this highlighted camera that's there already. And so it's made to just sync on the top of a DSLR, and so that you can have a rig there, and then you just plug it in through the audio plug-in through your DSLR camera. And so if you're using a DSLR camera, then you can just plug in and move that way. Okay, so some of you are like, hey, I'm not using that. I'm using my cell phone, or I'm using a GoPro. And so you're probably going to need one of these items. You're either going to need an adapter that will help plug that into your phone or to the GoPro itself. So just saying, if you use this Movo VXR10, you'll need to use this item, one of these two items. Okay. If some of you are using like a DSLR camera and the current setup that you have is like a pre-record. Um, and so you have a DSLR camera, or you have a GoPro, or you have a cell phone, but you don't have the audio necessarily, and you're trying to look for ways to get audio that's just really quick and on the go, or you're trying to set up meetings or Sunday school classes, or you're trying to record those and you don't want to bring your whole setup. And so here's an option, and I'm going to give you two of these. The Zoom H1 is, I use this and I've used it a lot, and it's really great and it's really simple. So you just turn it on. It's used for digital recording. You turn it on, but it doesn't go through your computer. It just saves directly to the device through a micro USB. It can be tedious to try to get the audio from this machine to a computer because you're working with a micro USB. So you will need to have a micro USB, which we'll talk about again. Here's another alternative to the Zoom. And same thing. And so I try to show how that would work on a DSLR setup. So if you're shooting on a DSLR and you're shooting your service, but you don't know how to get that audio, or like, let's say you're shooting from your pastor's office and you're trying to get a smaller venue, like a more Bible study feel, you can use this recorded audio. And so then you can kind of get into the edit and then post it as live later. So we'll talk about that later on, how you can pre-record your service and then make it feel like it's live to your audience, even though it's recorded, maybe the day before. So if you go this route, you'll need a micro USB, and you'll probably need something to like these little tabletop tripods. They're really helpful, especially if you're just going to use it to like record the audio of your pastor on maybe his podium or something like that. You can use the wind cover. Here's the wind cover, and here's like the tripod. And so these are great options if you're trying to look for those kinds of setups on like a podium or something, and just record the audio. The other reason that you might want to use these is, like, some people are taking their audio from the board mix, and they're using that audio into their live stream. And if something goes wrong with the live stream, or something gets shut down and everything gets turned off, you don't have an audio version of your sermon, and your pastor doesn't know he's supposed to stop. So you'll need to get, so you can, if live stream shuts down, then you can record the rest of the sermon via your computer, via your DSLR or recording device. And then if you have this backed up, then you can have all of your audio being backed up on this guy during your service, so you don't lose the audio while you've been pulling some of the audio in. I know there's transitioning audio into the live stream means that you don't have audio, just the audio, the raw audio files. And so that's kind of what we ran into. And so that's another reason you might want to use this. So, all right. So some of you never, or some of you have, or there's so many different setups, but you're looking to get the audio from your board into your computer so you can record it. And so you're looking for like a preamp that can bring the output in. And so here's a setup where you can kind of go in. Here's the back where you go out and into your computer. So that's the Tascam US 1x2. And so that's an option. There's a variation. So let me explain how some of this works. Move my face. So if you, at this top right here, you can see that this is like an out. This is the outs. This is the outs 2 of your board. You can take those outs and drive them directly into one of these boards. And then from the backside, you can take it from this USB feed directly into your computer, and then that will allow you to start recording. If you do something like that, here's another version of that, where you bring something in and then you bring it powered out. So just an alternate version, same idea. If you do that, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need obviously you need some power cords, and so XLRs, and you'll need Audacity or GarageBand, something to record the sermon. I chose those two because they're relatively inexpensive. Audacity is free. GarageBand isn't free for Microsoft users, and some Mac users will have to buy it to get it on their platform. But those are options. If you have a Mac, GarageBand, easy to use, and if you don't have a Mac, but you don't have anything to record, Audacity is easy to use. I have heard iRig is helpful. I haven't used iRig, but it's been promoted quite a bit as a simple option. So you may want to look into that as an option for your church. So I hope that helps set up some of those things and set up some of those questions that you might have. You may have to email me because I may not be able to answer directly, but I tried to give you a blanket. Here's what we were doing. Here's the best thing I think, and here's what I would do. Every church is different, and every setup's different, and so your situation may be unique to you. But no matter what, it's really important to understand and not get stressed out. And remember that we're all about Jesus. And during this time of trying to broadcast and trying to go live, this is a great opportunity for us to realize that people who are scared, our kids that are scared, to reinforce them that Jesus is our strength and that he is our helper and he is our comforter, and he calms the storm in our hearts, the anxiety in our hearts, so we don't have to worry. And so if you're sitting here today and you're worried, we can cast our cares on Jesus because he loves us. So, all right, hope this helps. Thanks. I'll talk to you tomorrow with some setups.